Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. I'm your host, Mark. Join me. He's back by popular. I don't know what's the opposite of demand, but like
last 2 episodes ago was my last episode, and that was my first episode.
Yeah. So here's his last episode officially, or whatever nonsense we say. Christian, welcome back.
Yeah, I was busy giving birth to my 7th child this month.
Very progressive of you that you chose to give birth and not your.
We like to alternate in my life partner and I.
Well, congrats, man. That's super exciting. It's cool. We're all a bunch of adults, I guess. Congrats on a child.
Yeah, thank you.
We got James with us. You're working on your own bun in the oven, but you did it the traditional way.
Yeah, I used a woman.
Yeah,
Used
this time.
okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, this is a classic show already.
I am James, the Mister of Battle. Welcome. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we also got my favorite Necron philiac. Josh, welcome.
What's up? Good to be here.
Yeah, man, it's fun being in studio with everyone. I like making you all giggle with the touches. Quick housekeeping before we get into this cool Necron episode that we got planned. It's going to be about how a tomb world awakens and just kind of protocols, different things when they happen. Very interesting. But before that, some housekeeping. The merch store. I think I'm on my last kind of like avenue here. We got a local friend who might be doing it for us, and it could be kind of interesting. But I was having a kind of a supplier kind of issue, but basically I'm still working on it. If it doesn't work out with this guy, then I won't be looking for anyone, and maybe we just won't be doing merch, and that's fine.
At least for now.
For now, yeah. You know, it's just a matter of timing and like finding the right people to do the jobs and not doing something sloppy. So I'm tracing down this last person. Maybe next episode we'll have some news on like what's the actual direction. The next thing I want to talk about is that Edmonton event that I went to. That was pretty cool. James, you went
40
there.
hours of 40K. It was good.
Yeah. It was a charity event in Edmonton for Heads Up Guys. It's a Canadian veterans charity event for like suicide prevention and stuff. And like, would you guys be considered veterans, or like you have to
on paper? Yeah,
on paper.
You're not. You're
well, you have
like
to
half there.
Yeah.
I have my card. But...
Tim, this is why I asked. You know, there's tiers to this. I didn't.
No, I agree. Like, I don't personally consider myself one, but like the government says I am. So.
Yeah, we're could technically like literally considered that, as weird as it is.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool, you know, because you know I know a lot of Canadian veterans myself. So a fun event. There's people there, 40 people playing for 40 hours straight. Essentially, was the concept. And
did they make it all 40 hours?
Yeah.
Did you make it all 40 hours?
No, I was only an evening. There's one guy, so it was a team's event, and there's one guy who's a solo team, and he played 10 games that weekend, where everyone else had like maybe 4 or 5 people
to rotate.
Yeah. But
he's a trooper.
Wild.
He's a trooper.
I had 2 highlights of the event. The first one I'd like to share is so we're just chit-chatting. Me and James are hanging out, chatting to some people, and then somebody comes up, so I make the introductions. Oh, this is James. And the guy goes, "Oh shit!" from James Complaints.
That is I know.
James Complaints is bigger than Lorehammer.
Yeah, man, that was the funniest fucking thing.
You are the James Complaints.
Yeah,
That's right. That's my identity.
So that was pretty fucking funny. And then the other story is I've been downsizing my Warhammer since I moved to Panama. So I brought up some minis to sell. I brought up my Warlord Titan from House Aerokiss and 3 knights and 2 armigers. And I was doing a silent auction up there. And there's this one kid there playing Magic, and he was sniffing around 40K tables. And I just did a look on that face, somebody just dying to get that plastic crap. Here's the younger kid. So, you know, he came up and he's like, "Hey, this looks very cool. How do I get into this?" And kind of show him the models. Like, I'm selling.
Like, come here, my boy.
Yeah. And I show him the biggest model in all of 40K. But I basically end up selling it to this guy for dirt cheap, like $500, like dirt cheap for a Warlord Titan, fucking 3 knights and 2 armigers. And this guy, that's his first mini.
Introduction into 40K.
He's just
Here's
gonna
the biggest,
turn around
most
and sell
expensive
them
thing.
like to someone else. He just played you.
Yeah, maybe.
He knew. He's like, I've been playing 40K for 25 years.
Yeah.
I'm actually a 45-year-old man. He's like, what's his name?
No, he had to drive him home. He's like some young guy. And that was his first hit of the plastic crack. So I've done a lot of people dirty with 43. I think that was the dirtiest I've done somebody.
Yeah, that's like mass OD right
He'll
there.
never get a hit like that again, ever. And he'll be searching it for years,
Yeah.
and he'll never find another hit like that until he buys a Manta.
That's the only thing that's bigger.
The only
It's the only way
thing.
to get any higher.
So that was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot for the invite. The next thing I want to shout out is Discord. We've been doing a lot of cool stuff, that Warlords of Terror stuff. Also, Space Marine 2, while we all failed to play it.
Embarrassingly.
The most, that was a heinous. That stream is just comedy for the fact that we suck so bad.
I guess that exists, eh? Like,
Yeah, it's out there.
that might be worth the watch. You know, that's like, holy fuck, are they retarded?
It was
Like,
a fantastic
it's
intro, I will say.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
We all had computers that couldn't play it.
Oh,
Essentially.
We tried. We tried.
But there are lots of people on the Discord server who are going to be playing Space Marine 2 on Saturdays at, I believe it's 3 p.m. Mountain Time, or maybe that's 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. But kind of in the afternoon, there's going to be people playing Space Marine 2. And the goal is, hopefully, you make first the Lorehammer team and you can go pwn other noobs. And I'm going to hang out with you guys. I don't have the game yet, but I'll be in the voice chat like a little stir in your ear
In your
talking
ear.
shit.
Go kill that guy.
Yeah.
Get him, Greg, get him.
The Emperor blesses
Yeah.
the skill.
Exactly. And then hopefully maybe we get enough people that you can start doing some teams versus teams and do like a Lorehammer tournament of Chaos versus Loyalists and stuff like that. So go check out the Discord if you want to be up with kind of the fun stuff that we're up to.
Hold on. Do you think we could get 1,000 players? Do you think we could?
Man, that game apparently
1,000?
sold like $10 million worth or something in pre-orders. I don't
I'm saying
think
for like a
we can.
Warhammer chapter in game.
Oh
man,
my
I
God,
see what
everyone-
you're saying.
So who
Yes.
can be Pubis? Because that was one of the guys from your.
Yeah, Pubis. Well, whoever paid for Pubis has to be Pubis. Yeah, that would be fun. But hey, yeah, go check out the Discord. We're doing a lot of cool stuff on there. Yeah, James.
Yeah. So one of the things we want to shout out is jump in the stream. We like chatting with you guys when you're in here and when you're watching live. So if you can come on and see us live at 7:30 Mountain Time. We do it every other Friday so far. So if you want to come on, join us on Patreon, and then we'll send you the link so you can get inside.
Yeah, been a lot of fun doing the live stream.
Yeah.
I
We
like to
also have
watch
someone
you
who
watch
comes
me.
in. Yeah. If you want to be in the podcast too, join up at the higher tier, and you can we'll invite you in at the end of the stream.
Yeah. You can try to tease our brain with a question that catches us off guard.
Yeah, and on
Nothing
that,
catches us off guard.
Yeah.
We know everything.
Yeah. This is true.
on that note, though, Patreon is the way to sign up. So I have more mouths to feed. So please help us out.
Yeah.
Join the Imperial Tithe. Get access to the live stream and sweet Discord tags, and maybe we can do something with that with the Space Marine game in tandem. I don't know.
Yeah. I did
know
actually
Orient.
create a Space Marine 2 Discord tag, so it's easy to tag people specifically who play that
Sweet.
game.
Yeah. So yeah, jump in there, help support the show, help support us to make this thing grow.
Yeah, I just want to share too, real quick. Like, yo, we made it back to the top for sure.
Yeah.
You number one in US for the category of hobby. So I don't know who is listening. If it literally is just my mom over and over and over
A million times.
boy, hard to say. But either way, go throw us $1. Like honestly, like we all are starting to have kids and stuff, and you all throw us $1, we could really do something magical for our families that we're starting. So
Yeah.
any buck here or there really helps. I think we're pretty much ready to get into this Necron episode.
Let's do it. A Tomb World Awakens. Take us in, Mark.
A tomb world is not merely a planet. It is a graveyard of ancient terror, one of the countless dead worlds scattered across the Milky Way galaxy, where the Necrons, those cold and unfeeling Xenos, descended into their aeons-long hibernation. Over 60 million years ago, they buried themselves deep beneath the surface, entombed in the vast necropolises and labyrinth catacombs, waiting for the day when their mechanical legions would rise again. Now, many of these worlds lie shrouded in the cloak of ignorance, settled by the imperium of man, their terrible secret hidden beneath layers of rock and time. To the human colonists, these planets seem no different from any other world, until the ground beneath them shifts, and the Necrons stir from their eternal slumber, bringing annihilation to all life above. The number of such worlds are unknown, but they are legion, scattered like silent sentinels throughout the galaxy, poised to awaken when the time is right. Some tomb worlds were once the thriving homeworlds of the Necron tour, the fragile and short-lived ancestors of the Necron. Before their fateful transformation into the immortal machines by the Satan, The Necron built vast cities that now lie in ruins, buried beneath the sand and dust of their forgotten past. These dead worlds, barren and devoid of life, stand as a testament to the Necron's ancient red harvest, when all organic life was scoured from the surfaces in brutal purges. Whether these lifeless descents were once the preferred habitat of the Necron or simply the result of the cleansing of lifelong eons ago, none can say for certain. The red harvests are super cool. They just go in like everything. Just
Yeah, it has a Mass Effect vibe.
Yeah,
to
okay.
it.
Yeah.
What are they called in Mass Effect?
The Reapers.
The Reapers?
Yeah, the Reapers. They
Yeah.
come out and eliminate all life,
And then they go back to sleep.
and then they go back to sleep.
I
Not
wonder where they got the
familiar.
idea from.
Are you saying that someone actually stole Warhammer lore and not the other way around? No, that's not for me.
Impossible. These desolate places often lure the foolish or the ambitious. The Adeptus Mechanicus sends its explorer teams in search of lost Xenos technology, while rogue traders driven by greed hope to profit from the relics of the dead civilization. But many who dare to uncover the secrets of these worlds are never heard from again, their fates sealed beneath the earth, where they disturb more than just the ancient ruins. From beneath the surface in the cold dark, the dormant Necron await, soulless, patient, and inevitable. The tombs themselves are vast, silent labyrinths. Massive repair facilities tend to the Necron legions, overseen by canoptic scarabs, tiny scuttling machines that endlessly toil to restore their broken masters. Stasis units line the halls where the Necron slumber, untouched by time. At the heart of these tombs lie the central chamber, a cavernous hall of dark grandeur, where the Necron Lord or Overlord rests within an ornate black sarcophagus, waiting for the moment to rise and lead their legions to war once more. To the Imperium and the galaxy at large, the Necrons are but another shadowed threat, dimly understood, lurking in the endless dark between the stars. Few truly grasp the scale of the menace they represent. Fewer still understand the cold, calculated purpose that drives them. But as the Necrons awake, it becomes clear. Mankind's hold on the galaxy is far from secure, and the Necrons will stop at nothing to reclaim what they lost.
Yeah, I wonder if the Necrons, like how many of them actually are incapable of awakening. Like when you go to that planet, is how many of them are just like, yeah, this is too far rotted away that they'll never awaken, and how many of the planets are just like only a portion of them, because they've been like, think about it, it's like dinosaurs long ago that these guys were running around. And so how, if they're just sitting around, things have broken down so much, and entire ones could just be falling to pieces and they're all dead.
Yeah, or even just like keeping the code consistent for that long. Like how many little updates, what version of Necron are they on? Like we've come across this file error update, and then they update that little file, and then it creates a whole new labyrinth.
Your computers barely last like a freaking 2 years.
All the hard drives are filled with just garbage.
Exactly.
On that note, though, that is cool too, because it's less stupid. It's always dumb whenever you have like a mummy story where like these archaeologists uncover a tomb and it's cursed, and like this keeps happening. Why do they keep opening this?
Stop digging!
Right. The Imperium would figure it out at some point. Like, this is definitely Necron tech.
Yeah.
Don't open it up. It's gonna kill everyone. But if you have enough that are broken, they're like, okay, we've done this a million times and they were all dead. This one woke up. Well, this time it's weird.
And if it is only like, even if it was only like 30% of the time, or even if it was like 50% of the time, someone might be like desperate enough to go in there and just try and get the risk.
Yeah, man.
Because if it was every time that they woke up, then it'd be like, okay, that's just literally suicide every time. And
exactly. Like, why would you do it? You would know right away not to do it. Right?
Yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, it seems like too, like, you know, they could have been raiding tomb worlds for 10,000 years, the Imperium technically, and none of them were activating. And maybe they triggered some canoptic creatures in it, but like, really, the Necron are just starting to awaken now.
So, like, exactly.
How many have been raided, and even in that process of raiding, how many were destroyed or corrupted that way? So
Raiding tombs, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I don't think I wrote a portion about this. Necron corruption on tomb worlds, and like even that, like it'd be a cool kind of battle. We hear about the scrap code and how that was like during the Horus Heresy. Yeah, they basically released a virus code that just infects all the computers and wrecks it. So that'd be a cool kind of battle of like the scrap code kind of chaos code versus the Necrons world engines computing code and stuff, and they're doing that kind of
digital warfare.
Yeah, digital number crunch. I'm just closing my eyes and picturing like
it all looks like Matrix numbers.
Screens, yeah, flashing at each other and exploding.
Some are red and some are green.
Wow, I'm too high for this. Like, yeah.
One more quick thing before we move on. I lost it.
God dang that.
Oh no, yeah. Okay, so other species. I got it back. That's right. The scrap code is.
It's gone.
It's good.
No.
It's gone.
Other species too, right? Like we always focus obviously on the Imperium and their interaction with the Necron, but you have like orcs maybe looting Necron technology.
Sure.
You have freaking Eldar who are maybe destroying it on purpose. They're like, oh crap, these guys again. We got to destroy them while they're sleeping.
Yeah.
Right. So there's also other ways, and now Tyranid invasions, which
Sure.
I believe they avoid. Do they avoid Necron worlds on purpose?
I think yeah, they pretty much do, but I kind of read that as like, okay, do they avoid them because they know it's a Necron tomb world, or do they avoid them because typically tomb worlds are also dead worlds, and there's no point for a Necron
Looting
to go to a dead
Right.
world with no organic life.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those like it could have been either
one
way.
or the other. Yeah.
But they don't just use organic material, right?
Yeah, like they
Yeah,
will
they
absorb
strip,
like
like,
the
metal
iron
and
and all
stuff.
that.
Water, anything else, ice, whatever is on the planet.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't think it's necessarily so. And of course, you need the setup to be able to have your Tyranids fight your Necron too. So it's not like I don't think they would avoid it entirely. It's just probably more often than not. They
Or if
maybe
there was a tomb world in the way, they might just go there.
absorb it,
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, yeah, that's a whole other field of cross-species interaction.
Well, and even on that too, like you could have so we kind of talked about Xenos that are against the Necron. You also have all these races that are like worshiping the Necron, and for 60 million years have been worshiping this statue, and like
and suddenly it wakes up.
and suddenly it wakes up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a trip?
That's
So
sweet.
these guys have been maintaining much like Mechanicum without knowing like
What they're doing.
how the rituals work,
Yeah.
but they've been
They
polishing.
polish that Necron cross.
Gotta keep it shiny. Yeah.
Just wakes up, it's like, I feel great.
Great. Finally polished.
All right, let's get into types of tomb worlds. There's no such thing as a typical Necron tomb world. Each is a reflection of its ruling noble, whose every whim shapes the fate of their domain. From the sweep of cold, merciless campaigns that grind entire star systems into dust, to the meticulous arrangement of tombs and spires that loom like silent judges over desolate landscapes, nothing escapes the sovereign's will. Even the smallest details, such as the rigid codes of address between aristocratic undead, are carved into the very essence of their dead worlds. Yet beneath the variances in form, a singular purpose unites all tomb worlds, the rebirth of the Necron dynasties, a cold and relentless march towards reclaiming the galaxy. Their endgame is nothing less than restoration of their once unquestioned dominion over the stars, to crush the ignorant vermin that dare crawl across the ancient domains. The tomb worlds listed here are but a fragment of a mere glimpse of the countless millions that stretch across the stars like an unending necropolis. Each awakening world is unique, shaped by its aeons of dormancy and the peculiarities of its rulers. But the number of these soulless realms swells, growing like a cancer, as the Necron legions rise once more from their eons of sleep. How many colonies of humanity unknowingly rest upon the dead foundation of the Necron worlds? Their settlements built over their silent, patient tombs of a civilization far older than they could ever comprehend. As the Necrons awaken, the galaxy is cast into a new age of fear. No planet, no empire, no star can ever truly be safe from the ancient horror that stirs beneath the surface, waiting for the moment to reclaim what was always theirs.
I love the idea that like each planet is shaped by the lord's, whatever lord is there, and he's just like, oh yes, I would have mountains here, and I'd have deserts here.
I want an ocean right here. No, sir, that's not. No,
I would right here. I will, but sir, we'd have to make an anti-gravitational field here so that it would float above. That is what the Lord wills. So that
Sounds
is
like
how
you
it
know
shall
how
be.
to do it.
I mean, like, but that's the
Yeah.
kind of thing the Necron would do. Is like
Yeah.
the humans come to this world, and there's like, why is there like water all floating? Like it's not in the deepest part, and it's all
all
these
backwards.
Weird, yeah, it's what this weird place is happening, and they're just like, yeah, we did that because the Pharaoh just thought it was cool, or it was on.
It's like a water feature for your house, right? He's like
What?
designing it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
nice.
exactly
Yeah.
what I mean, though. Like this is like his like whole place is just his own backyard that he just is making look how he
And then some
wants.
filthy squatters just show up.
Get up, Marlo!
Yeah,
Ultimate
like you
old
hear
guy,
about
yeah.
the grandeur of the Ulanor Crusade and how the Emperor paved a continent so he
Yeah.
could have a parade. It's something like that level, but
everywhere all the
but the
time.
whole planet
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah,
Dude, that's tight.
yeah, I like it. It's nice. It's a good way to live.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's desolate. It's not actually a desert. That's just his plaza.
Reference, yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
parade plaza.
Yeah.
Ah, perfect.
I mean, everybody dreams about doing that for home, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've all
That's
played
one of them.
Minecraft.
We've all shaped worlds to our will.
Yeah, exactly. Bent the population of those people.
Villagers and pillagers.
All right. Well, let's talk about some crown worlds. Just as Necron society is a monolithic hierarchy, so too are its ancient order lie the crown worlds. Hallowed, impenetrable bastions of Necron supremacy, these worlds are the oldest, the most venerated, and the very nerve centers from which the dynasties command their once vast empires. The crown worlds stood as the shining beacons of Necron might in a galaxy long since consumed by the passage of time. Their influence bolstered by endless streams of the tithe and tribute exacted from the surrounding planets in their dynastic grasp. Crown worlds are unrivaled in their opulence and power, with access to unimaginable wealth and resources. They constructed the most advanced stasis crypts the galaxy had ever seen, ensuring that their slumbering inhabitants would endure the eons untouched by decay. Those entombed in these crypts have emerged from their millennia sleep in pristine condition, their forms unmarred by the ravages of time. But this only serves to amplify the tragedy when such worlds are lost. A crown world's fall is not merely the end of a planet, it's the destruction of an irreplaceable relic of Necron glory, a bitter wound in the collective memory of a race that prides itself on immortality.
Man, it talks about like how much riches and wealth would be in there, and I kind of just picture like these vast halls on either end. They have like a portal, and like just lined with portals. And if you poke your head in there, you get sent to like another dimension, and that's where all the wealth is stored. It's like then you find then you find your smog den, you know, where it's just like that guy's a lot of gold all of a sudden in there.
Well, what would a Necron put in his vault?
Trazen,
I think-
for example.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
put people.
Well, sure, but like I mean, if you're like that advanced technologically, gold isn't really
It could be
a
anything and
value
everything
for
because,
you.
like
Yeah.
you said, the pharaohs could be like, petty too, right? Like I like this one particular thing.
Oh yeah,
I
it
have
could
a
be just
thing for
shiny.
gold, right?
I just
exactly.
like amber.
Yeah,
This is all the amber, like this
In
is
the
all
entire
of it.
universe.
Yeah, and he took it.
I feel like some of them would be like super incomprehensible with what they would collect.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Because some of them would be like, I like the color blue, so they would just have like
Blue things.
incomprehensible like concept of blue.
What is blue? The essence of blue itself.
He's a little corrupted, and there's something blue for the wedding just stuck in his head for like 60 million
It's
years.
just like
Must borrow something blue.
From everything.
Yeah, those portal rooms would be kind of cool though. Just the vast treasure troves of whatever
Yeah.
weird relics from 60 billion years ago.
And it could even be as small as like micro tech that's like really advanced, right? Like a teleporter that's like the size of a wristwatch.
Sure.
And, like you discover that, like you imagine you're looting the tomb and you're like,
Yeah,
wow, this is like invaluable to us, but to that Necron where it's just like stuff. Like,
Well,
trinkets.
I like the way this kind of reflects a little bit in the models too, because talking about the pristine versus like the kind of shambly.
Mm.
So if you had like maybe a dynasty that you're playing as, and they're a little bit more of a poorer, not directly high up on the hierarchy kind of dynasty, they might have those kind of shambling guys because they didn't get the best stuff when they
Sure.
were building their stasis fields and stuff.
Yeah.
I wish that they did give a little bit more option with that in the newer kits. To
Yeah, 'cause,
give
like,
kind
they
of
have
a
to
little.
be damaged
they
or
do,
something.
don't they?
I
I don't
could be
play.
wrong.
I've never cracked open a Necron box. Honestly, model wise, always the least interested. But after this episode, I might start.
Of course.
But I do believe they
That's the way
gave
of
the
it.
option to have either pristine or damaged.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, okay, maybe I'm just going off.
and I could be wrong too.
I got the starter box way back at the beginning of 9th.
Yeah.
And so
Someone
that's
knows.
what I'm going off of. So maybe I'm just wrong, and they do have both. But either way, then maybe you could like
yeah,
lean into one of those based on how rich.
yeah.
'Cause, like the what's the leader, the main Necron guy?
Cesar.
So yeah, he would probably have all pristine. They're all in great shape. But like you're
And like you would picture their
higher
hieroglyphics on them too. It'd be all like gold etched, you know, and
Yeah.
like
Where the other guys are like literally rusting, and, like creaking, and like more like traditional undead
Yeah.
zombies.
yeah, like resources. Like so Necron can regenerate, and is that just literally a power thing? And then they have power that they just have like
fusion power, so power is not really an option. So then, yeah, why do you need resources? But he's still whatever.
Yeah, there's
He's-
a number of ways
you
you
could
could
still-
play that game.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, you might say just that like it's faulty, like the machine
Sure.
code's breaking down, or
Yeah.
like it doesn't. It's supposed to work correctly, and maybe it did 50 million years ago, but it's just
Yeah.
degraded in some way over time. Whereas like some of these like more
Have more layers of protection.
yeah, some of these are like just better built. Like the Crown Worlds just have better
Built
tech.
different.
Yeah, they're built for tough.
Yeah, no, Ford
I
is
got-
not the make Ford
Hey,
brand.
they paid me for that. Okay?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, Ford.
All right, let's talk about core worlds. So beneath the crown worlds in rank, but still formidable, are the core worlds. These planets from the heart of a dynasty's stellar domain, bound together by the blood ties and ironclad loyalty to the crown world's ruling regent. Though they lack the grandeur of the ancient majesty of their crowned counterparts, the core worlds were once titans in their own right, each one a vital node in the dynastic web of power. Even now, in the darkening days of the 41st millennium, these planets remain centers of influence, their rulers standing ready to reclaim their lost glories should the galaxy's capricious tides allow it.
One thing too, I was going to wait till you finish this whole section, but I'll just jump in.
Yeah,
now,
just
is
jump in.
Just the amount of like, this gives you customization options. Necron's always suffered from that lack of, but you could do like thematically different things with it, right?
Sure.
Like this is the avenue to go. Like,
Yeah.
not just the wear of time, but like environmental factors. Like I've always loved Necron, like from an elemental perspective, like lava Necron on a lava world, or like ice Necron on an ice planet, or like
Yeah, and it's a fun way to kind of tie something like that to the energy of their weapons. Like, why do they have orange energy? Well, they're on this lava world and they harness this volcano for part of their energy. Or
Yeah.
they're on this ice world, that's why it's
the
blue. And,
yeah.
you know, so yeah, that's kind of a cool way to kind of transition it
Yeah.
and make it into that.
What do you mean there's lack of customization?
Well, like traditionally, like, and I'm thinking back to like the old Necron, right? They were silent, they were like singular purposed.
Yeah.
They're going to be some metallic shade of gold or silver.
And
Well, that's about it. That's all
is
you
it, yeah.
like. People can always be creative, but my point is like that's kind of what you got from the codex.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be creative with it. Whereas all this kind of allows for more creativity. More,
Yeah. I think the new way they've done Necron lore, and when I say new, it's not new, but like the way
Yeah,
Necron
still new
lore,
to us, so-
Yeah.
Necron lore does
Shit, we're all
allow
boys.
giving them personality and giving them the ways to do different things, like
Yeah,
stab each
why
other
are
in the
you-
back.
Yeah, why are your Necron
Wanting
like
to,
this?
yeah, that's possibly. I think that whole like mindless killer thing just switched to the Tyranids, and they're filling that
Sure,
void. So like, there's a
exactly.
personality.
like
to
the
these now.
harvester of the galaxy is now the Tyranids and
Yeah.
not the Necron. Yeah. It's kind of tool. You could tie it into how many elite units do you have in your army. If you're a core world, you're not going to have as many like Lich Guard in your army and stuff like that. And then you could even take it one step further too when we talk about fringe worlds next. Like maybe you have a fringe world full of like the guys that, what are the flayers, or like what's
Yeah,
the other
Blade
one?
ones?
Destroyers.
Destroyers.
Players,
Yeah.
the destroyers. You know,
Yeah,
you
'cause
have
you
these
just
fringe
don't-
world.
Yeah, they don't have the tech to keep it up, or they couldn't afford the nice things. So.
Yeah. So, you know, picking one of these levels, can even tie into your unit selection as well as how you paint them, model
Oh,
them.
yeah,
So, yeah, tell us about Fringe Worlds.
Cool. All right, fringe worlds. At the fringes of Necron Dominion lie the fringe worlds, the least of the dynasty's holdings. These distant or impoverished colonies exist on the periphery of importance, contributing little to the larger Necron empire beyond their labor or serving as prisons for the lesser elements of their society. These planets, though vital in their own way, are viewed with disdain by their ruling lords, places where the grandeur of the Necron rule fades into the cold void of space. Some fringe worlds were once mighty core worlds, stripped of their status after being conquered or absorbed into another dynasty's territory, their splendor reduced to a shadow of its former self. Each world, from the proud crown worlds to the forsaken fringe worlds, serves its place in the grand, relentless march of the Necron's supremacy. Their awakening is inevitable, and with it comes the return of the galaxy's most ancient and deadly empire.
Cool. I think the other thing these kind of three tiers allow you to do is Necron are a lot of like internal politics. Like when you're almost, like we said, the most ancient and deadly empire, who's to stop you except your own people? And Necron politic, and this is a cool way where it's like, okay, your fringe worlds are now rebelling against your core worlds. Now it's just this hierarchy of politics. So you're gathering your Necron court together and just the different types of characters and how they might play against each other and all that. We have a question from Nathan that says, who's your favorite Necron named character?
Mine's Dave.
apparently,
Yeah.
it's James's. So James complains. He's world famous for that. I can't believe he's like, oh shit, James complained. That was the funniest thing. That made the 6-hour drive work. More than Bob. You like him more than Bob?
Bob shit.
Bob shit. Apparently, the verdict is Bob shit.
Official Lorehammer stand.
I don't know. Necron characters. That's interesting. I've heard great things about the Infinite and Divine. And like you could say one of them, but I haven't read that yet.
I've heard fantastic things about Trace and the Infinite.
Yeah.
Propaganda team is.
I think personally, all the GW written ones I haven't loved, but I think there's lots of potential for homebrew written ones.
Yeah.
I read the Indomitus book, and there's a character in that I kind of liked. I forget her name, but she was like this subordinate, and she just was pissed off at her leader, and so she just basically blew up his whole invasion plan because she hated him. And that's the kind of thing I love about the Necron, is that kind of internal politics. They all hate each other. They all think they're the best. They all have like grudges that are millions of years old, and they're all trying to get back at each other, but they can't all really die. So they just keep like doing it over and over and over again. I love it. That's the best part of it.
Yeah, I can't say that I have a favorite. Honestly, Necron have always been like my least favorite, so I never bothered to look into them or anything. But I've always been a huge fan of the Mummy. So if I were to make a homebrew one, I definitely would do something that's more like like a cursed outcast type, like maybe raging against.
What about like a specific like flayed one lord? Because we don't have like a name character like that with a model.
Yeah, I'd do something
that's almost mummy like. It's way more like evil spirit.
Yeah, exactly, like dark.
Yeah,
that's
if you did an all flayed one's army,
that'd be cool.
That'd be sick. That'd be terrifying.
That'd be pretty intense. Yeah, and they just warp in. Yeah. Yeah, that will haunt me for a night or two. So that's good. Good.
Just wake up and I'm just like standing at the foot of your bed, just
he's wearing Christian.
Got long fingers.
Cool.
Oh, that's me. Let's go. Hibernating in the cold depths of the tomb worlds, the Necrons have slumbered for over 60 million years, waiting beneath the surface in a deathless stasis. Now the galaxy shudders as scattered Necron raiding parties herald the undying race's reawakening. In the 41st millennium, the once starved star gods, the Satan, have stirred once more, their hunger for life rekindled. As the Satan rise from their cosmic dreams, so too do the dreaded Necron tier, returning to claim dominion over the galaxy that has long forgotten their terrifying power.
Okay, this is just a little bit of an aside, but I kind of love how sometimes the game can change your attitude towards the way things are in the lore. So in 10th edition, it's kind of been infamous that the Satan have been hella broken. And
good for once.
Oh, they're terrifying.
Okay.
So one of the Void Dragon, which is I think the newest model, it halved all damage.
Okay.
It had a 4-up feel no pain.
Okay. Perfect.
And it had a 4-up invuln. So it was just so terrifying to kill. And then it heals D3 every turn.
Sure,
and so it was just like terrifying to play against that. And it always was like you put that on, and people were running 6 of them, like 6 or 10. And you're like,
that's their whole army.
Shards? That's so funny.
With different things. And it's like,
what?
So that has made me like Satan feels scary now in a way that like they didn't before. And I kind of like how the game can kind of feed back into the lore a little bit to give you the feeling, oh my god, a Satan. No, not the Void Dragon.
Fear.
Like
6 of them. What?
Yeah.
I want to see them face off against someone.
That's 6 to 10.
Or whatever the point value.
Half damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Half damage.
Then half feel.
Go get your warlord back, man.
Okay,
I want to do some experiments.
I already spent that $500 on other Warhammer. I thought I was downsizing it, but I ended up with more. Somehow. Fuck.
Every tomb world is a testament to Necron supremacy, built in accordance with a temple devised by the Necron tier and the zenith of their empire. The worlds are technological wonders beyond the comprehension of any race that has since risen to prominence. The Necrons, master of forgotten physical principles, create vast subterranean complexes. That's a big word. Each one an interdimensional vault designed to house their legions for the long sleep. These immense warehouses, hidden deep beneath the planet surfaces, store tens of thousands of Necrons. all contained in chambers that warp space itself, appearing far larger within than their exterior would suggest.
I'm playing Return to Moria right now, and very similar vibes, but this is like so sci-fi. Instead of candles, I'm picturing like the eerie green glow or whatever energy glow, and just like these dark caverns and these tunnels and these cities where they just, you look up and you're like, oh, there is a ceiling up there, I think, but it's like 2
So
miles
dark.
up there. Like, is that a cloud? No, that's the ceiling. Like, yeah.
Okay, what do you think is more advanced? Like, okay, the claim in that blurb there is that this is one of the most advanced technological things. Obviously, it is, but is it more advanced than a Blackstone fortress?
I would say so, because like it's not just that they built this thing underground. Like, that's, who cares? Whatever. That's just fun. It's like all that technology, all the stasis tech, all the weapons, all the
trinkets inside, energy
trinkets.
sources.
Exactly. Like those Blackstones. How much? Yeah. Like a Tomb World's an entire world, and I know a Blackstone fortress is also big, almost planet size, maybe more moon size. But like, yeah, I'd say the Tomb Worlds have more, man.
Interesting.
And it's all Necron tech. Is yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe the other thought just on Blackstones, since we're talking about, is I feel like Blackstones have been raided far more, but maybe that's just a misconception, because I feel like Blackstones have been around for a long time. Like, actually, like,
Yeah, because
like,
there were those, they knew about them even during the Horus Heresy.
yeah, like accessible for a long time. Like, obviously both have been around for aeons, but like, yeah, the Blackstones have been accessible and
And
therefore
looted for, like,
looted.
more often. Yeah.
Well, here, my only counter to that is, my understanding is a lot of them are hard to get to. Like, they're in parts of space that are really, like,
Sure.
you're probably going to die getting to them, whereas a Necron Tomb World, they're not as hard to get
But
to.
are you even
They're just
looking-
underneath us right now.
But are you even
Yeah.
looking for them as a thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, also, kind of funny thing about that is, like, okay, how many mining operations would the Imperium have? Like, you would think they would have stumbled on quite a few of these things. It's
Yeah.
big enough to cover the world, but also like so deep, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
You
that's
can
the
only go
thing,
so
like,
deep before you start getting into the liquid parts of planets.
Sure, but then who's building it? I guess the Necron.
Yeah, well,
They
and
have the
Yes, I
technology.
think
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. They can do a stasis around their whole thing and build in the molten core of the planet if they
Sure,
wanted to.
that'd be
Sure.
pretty sweet.
That is kind of cool,
Yeah,
actually,
like,
now that you mention it.
You could
That would be
you
your
could go
lava.
deep.
That would be your lava Necron.
That would be your lava Necron,
literally in
yeah.
the center of the planet.
And the way they emerge is like crawl out of the volcano hole.
Oh yeah, that could be how you model them too. Is they're all like coming
Emerging.
up through lava. Oh, dude, we get so many good ideas. We should sell these.
Hey
Go
GW, if
bankrupt
you're
trying.
listening, I'll stop shit talking you if you hire me. We got a lot of great ideas over here, and we got #1 podcast. So GW, reach out, I guess.
Yes.
I'll stop shit talking.
We gotta start making female Necrons now.
Oh, well, no, that's
That
fine.
is the thing.
You almost
That's-
got me
yeah,
mad
watch
when you said the
yourself.
word female, but I reeled it in.
All right, sorry. Beneath the pyramidal structures, the Necrons locked away weapons of unimaginable horror. Temporal stabilizers constructed with their mastery of time shield these warriors and their instruments of destruction from the decay of millennia, suspending them in a stasis that defies the natural order. Time for the Necrons is no longer an enemy; it is their servant.
Yeah, I guess if you just like
Ooh.
don't care about, like, who cares? 60 million years, you're a robot. You don't.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. You don't age. You just repair yourself instantly for any decay. So
If a Necron replaces each part of him over time, it's still the same Necron.
What is that boat principle
Ship,
called?
Ship of Theseus.
Yes. Okay. Good.
But we'll rename it the
the boot of Trajan.
Trajan's Boot.
Trajan's boot.
I think we could do better, but we're on the right track with this naming. Hit us in the chat if you got a good name for us.
When a Tomb World stirs, its awakening follows an unyielding algorithm, as precise and inevitable as the dying of stars. First, the tomb releases its canoptic scarabs and canoptic spiders, relentless robotic swarms, the dormant systems. Then, as the tomb comes to life, the Necron warriors awaken, rising from their crypts to patrol the surface, their cold, soulless optics scanning the world for signs of intrusion. The tomb's automated systems, drawing on reconnaissance data, evaluate the current state of the galaxy, calculating their next move within the ruthless logic of pre-programmed algorithms.
Yeah, you kind of, when you say the scarabs, I just picture like the sound of 1,000 metal taps on stone.
Chittering.
Yeah. Like, oh,
I don't like it.
I love that
Cool.
ASMR.
Get me out of this mine.
I can't do spiders, man.
He's fine with the scarabs. It's the spiders that creep him out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, they're just gonna flay your flesh.
I'd rather that over spiders.
No, the spiders are.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's worse. It's much worse.
As dictated by these ancient codes, the tomb's defenses begin to activate, bringing online Necron machineries as deadly arsenals that lay dormant for millennia. The Necron lords and overlords, locked in their stasis crypts, are revived with artificial personalities encoded to serve the singular purpose of the Tomb World's mission. These rulers emerge driven by the ancient will of their dynasties, ready to enact whatever retaliation or conquest is required of them.
Yeah, we did one episode. I should look when you're done reading on this computer. One episode where it was called like Canoptic Constructs, I think, and we talked about like the World Engine and the Tomb Engine and the thing that gives these things, like the Necron overlords, more personality and what actually allocates all that. These ancient codes. It's pretty cool. You should go listen to that one. I'll find what episode it is, but I should carry on.
Many of these tomb worlds, now swarming with activity, have become unwitting hosts to the young races of the galaxy, with entire human colonies built atop their ancient catacombs. When this invasion of their sacred dominion is detected, the tomb world reacts with lethal efficiency. Its programming unleashes a torrent of aggression designed to protect its dormant Necron legions at all costs. These tomb worlds, once disturbed, activate at an accelerated pace, their systems bristling with hostility as they prepare to eliminate anyone who dares trespass.
Yeah, I do kind of empathize with Christian's comment of like, how is this under there? But maybe it's cloaked too. Like there's a lot of ways around that because Necron tech is whatever you can think of, they can do it.
Yeah.
And so there's not really a limitation on them in the way a lot of other races in 40K would have. You can get around it very easily, and it doesn't feel broken. That's just, yeah, of course they can.
Yeah, their technology is described to us as magic.
Yeah.
So,
and the other thing too is some tomb worlds do have like automated defenses that have been protecting it too. So like maybe these guys, every time they dig a certain level, everything just falls apart and disappears, and no one knows why.
Right.
For like a long time, right? It's like, oh, they're getting like completely annihilated by like weird tech, or
maybe they just say, oh, there must be like that's unstable or something.
Yeah, exactly. The geology is unstable
there,
there, but really it's a Necron that have like some like seismic charge or something that blows up everything that goes beyond a certain point.
yeah.
Whatever you want is magic. And magic is friendship.
It sure is, buddy, Christian.
As their archives of ancient data are consulted and their forgotten armories are opened, the Necrons. Hard time here. The forgotten armories are open. The Necrons ready themselves for war. In worlds where the younger races, particularly mankind, have unknowingly trespassed, Necrons' retribution will be swift and absolute. Their ancient programming dictates a merciless retaliatory strike, a programmed response Imperial servants have come to call the Harvest. When the harvest begins, it will be a cataclysmic genocidal event on par with the war in heaven when the Necrons waged war against the Old Ones millions of years ago. The galaxy will once again tremble before the wrath of the Necrons, for their return is not merely a resurgence, it is the beginning of a new era of domination written in blood and machine. Yeah.
Yeah. Will they ever all awaken, though? Probably not.
No. Well, as we mentioned, some have been destroyed, so gotcha!
Yeah. And even some
Not
are
waking
destroyed
up
also
there.
by random events, like an asteroid blew up that planet.
Sure.
Like a star exploded and
Yeah.
took out that world.
It
right?
would- oh, this would
Or
be
they
kind
just
of
got corrupted.
Yeah,
and it's
to the
just
point
all-
where they're just non-functional.
Yeah.
about this for a tomb world. So like it was buried in the planet, and then something happened where it got hit by an asteroid. So the whole planet basically either melted away or all the crust or whatever basically separates. So now you just have like the tomb world, and like picture an anthill when you pour aluminum down it, and you get this crazy like
Structure.
So now you got
yeah.
one of those, but Necron version
floating around
because there's no more planet crust.
Planet got blown around it.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, okay.
They
And it's
awaken and they're
green.
like, what happened? Where are we?
Where's my lawn? They took my lawn. Nodal Command is up next. Necron tomb worlds defy the conventions of order and command, understood by the galaxy's younger races. I'll read that comment real quick before we get into this. Is there anything in the lore about a race or some tech that allows detection of slumbering Necron? And this was asked by Ricky. I don't know if anything really comes to mind,
Not
but like,
explicitly.
yeah, and like we're saying, like any type of tech that you think you could have, they have magic tech to counter it. So you're like, yeah, I have the sonic vibration device to detect objects underground, and then they're like, well, we have the sonic resonator, so get fucked. And they throw
No, yeah, but I think
like,
he's asking like other races detecting Necron, not.
But I
Necron
think
tech.
the
Sure,
same-
it's something that repels that technology.
yeah, I think the same can be said whether it's humans that find it or Eldar that try to find this Necron stuff. Like the Necron have ways of hiding it, and
Yeah, like repelling or defenses against a certain
Yeah.
kind of intrusion or detection. Yeah, theoretically, but again, kind of like referencing back to the Tyranids, for whatever reason, they do seem to know more or less where Two Worlds seem to be.
Sure.
Where there might not be like a psychic beacon or anti-psychic beacon that the Shadow and the Warp detects, and it's like, okay, avoid this, go around this.
yeah,
Or what you were saying earlier. Again, it's not really clear what it is that's causing it,
yeah.
and clearly
It
it's
could
not.
even just be like a weird energy, like some bugs are turned off to like
Right.
specific hums or something.
Yeah, like it's
that.
yeah, exactly. Like you have certain frequencies,
Yeah,
whatever, right? That like don't come here, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a cool thought.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, Necron Tomb Worlds defy the conventions of order and command understood by the galaxy's younger races. To the servants of the Imperium, their structure appears as a void. No permanent organization, no visible hierarchy. Yet beneath the structure of the seemingly chaotic system lies a grim and implacable order. Impeccable, implacable. Necron warfare operates not through conventional chains of command, but as a relentless machine of casualty. Each battle and campaign triggering responses dedicated by the ancient, unyielding algorithms of the Tomb World's core program.
Just like YouTube.
Just like just like big tech, and we're banned. No longer number one. Back to poverty in Panama. For me. Every harvest, every death, every victor that Facebook claims. I'm sorry. Back to the is part of the evolving tapestry of preordained actions set in motion by the cryptic intelligence that governs each tomb. This vast and intricate web of control is made possible by a system akin to the most complex technologies of the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Nodal Command. This structure is a hierarchical matrix of power, assigning operational authority and decision-making capacity to certain key nodes within the Necron forces. At the heart of this system are the Necron overlords and Necron lords, each node imbued with a specific level of command, enslaving lesser lords and units to their will. The Imperium's tech priests, peering through the haze of speculation and fragmented data, have identified 4 known levels of the hierarchy, designated bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So this is why they need those medals. They need little pins for all the Necrons. They got their little badge. As all things Necron, each level signifies an ascending order of power, with platinum level overlords commanding untold legions from the shadow.
Wait a minute, this whole thing's a pyramid scheme.
Oh, god dang it!
They got us.
They got me, and I've been buying their minis too.
If you recruit 10 friends to Warhammer, you can.
The Nodal Command is not merely a system of governance, but also the lifeblood of the Necron communication. It is through this structure that the orders are given, intelligence gathered, and decisions enacted. Ancient and esoteric in its operation, the Nodal Command has been linked to the flowcharts of cogitator algorithms used during the long-lost Dark Age of technology, a process that is at once staggeringly efficient and deeply unfathomable. That's so funny. That's like almost like abominable in AI that they're talking about there.
Yeah.
Early AI.
Yeah, that's literally what they're referring to.
When the gold level Necron Lord makes the decision, that choice ripples across the command network, disseminating instantaneously to silver and bronze lords who fall under its control. From there, the commands flow downwards, each level of hierarchy, executing orders with cold, machine-like precision.
Told you it's a pyramid scheme.
It's a
All the way
goddamn
down.
Dude,
pyramid.
if Warhammer was a pyramid scheme, you would be one of the few people actually making
money.
Like-
We're all the chumps that are losing money on this.
Once again, download to Lorehammer Patreon. Go to Patreon Lorehammer. Seriously, Christian just had many kids, so
Many kids. Uncountable kids.
yeah, he's awakening more. We have to stop him. Donate now. Stop Christian.
Before you go on there, it's cool how it like triggers, like this is kind of an automated system. So like once a threat level or like, oh, we got defeated at this like bronze level, now we'll activate the silver level.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to step in now and intervene. And that's cool. That's like it's all automated, like triggering and like
Yeah.
waking up different lords. And the other thing that's cool is that like how that lord then retroactively enslaves the other one.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just thinking like storytelling would be cool. It'd be like you're a bronze lord, and you're like, crap, I don't want to wake up my overlord because I'm the guy in charge right now.
Yeah.
And if he wakes up, I'm gonna lose my mind, like literally, like it's gonna hijack my decision making. So you do everything in your power to not let that happen. So already I'm like story elements, like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you corrupt this code now? And then you could have like even a cryptic investigating. Why didn't this lord wake up?
right, exactly.
And now
It's
he's missing.
like-
Dun dun dun.
so many ways you can play.
Yeah, man, very cool. Are Necrons worth the time and money on the table? I want to build another army. Yes.
Well, if you sign up for a platinum pass,
Yeah, you too can enslave world. In circumstances that demand swift action, a single high-level lord may issue immediate orders, and subservient nodes will respond in concert without hesitation. However, in more complex scenarios where the battlefield shifting dynamics require deeper processing data, the system allows decisions to be deferred, shared among lower-level commanders, down to the very bronze lords, or in rare cases, devolved to an individual warriors. Even then, these independent decisions are but echoes of an overarching program, threads in the grand tapestry that pulls each tomb world towards its inevitable conclusion, conquest. Yeah, the chat's saying get that army, so definitely get that army.
also on that note too, super easy to paint. You could paint a million.
They're
Necrons.
fun to paint, actually. You can,
Yeah.
because you can do fun things with the basing too. You can make that, like, I've always thought of doing like one that's icy, where like they're like still have snow on them because they've just been they're
Yeah,
moving so
hanging there.
slowly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's some cool stuff you could do with them.
Such adaptability allows the Necron to operate with terrifying efficiency, their forces moving as one when needed, but capable of autonomous actions when situation demands. Though the Imperium has yet to encounter a platinum-level Necron Lord, oh, that's interesting. We should almost fact-check that. You know, who knows what I write sometimes. I get carried away. The fever
He's
dreams
a
of it all.
little, he's a little
sauce
on here.
Yeah. Smoke a lot of weed and try to write some podcast notes. That's a workday. Speculation to be the apex of the system. Savant projections paint a grim picture. A platinum level overlord would possess the authority to command entire Necron fleets capable of harvesting entire sectors of the galaxy with brutal finality. Should such a being emerge from the depths wielding the full might of the Necron Empire, it would be a force beyond reckoning with, an unstoppable scourge that would sweep away all before it, leaving nothing but the silent. So maybe this is something to consider. The Silent King is back. So I would imagine he would be a platinum level lord if there ever was one.
How much has he engaged with different things though directly? That's the I haven't seen any of that lore. I haven't read a lot of Necron books myself, so
Yeah.
That would be part of the thing that I would be a little bit more hesitant to comment on, because I don't like. Is he like, I know he's doing stuff, but is he is he fighting battles against the Imperium right now? Like, I'm sure he is, because
I wish I knew
it'd be on the
myself.
tabletop. But
Maybe that needs to be the next Necron episode, because that is a relatively new event in 40k, really.
Yeah.
The return of the Silent King.
Yeah.
Um,
Just for a fact check there, according to Warhammer Wiki, which is less reliable than Lexicon, they say that
the same thing.
Platinum Lord has not yet been encountered.
yeah.
But I can't find it on the Lexicon if I trust more, but it's entirely possible.
Yeah, and
Again,
like-
I'm not super well versed in Necron.
And that could
Right.
be old. Like I just find it hard to believe that the Silent King, the
Is
leader
not,
of
yeah.
the Necron.
Well, the
would
way
be,
the
but-
wiki describes it is that a platinum level Necron Lord, also known as Necron Overlord, has not yet been encountered by Imperial forces. Savant speculation indicates that this level of Necron Lord would command massive Necron fleets intended to reconquer and eliminate the lesser races from entire swaths of the galaxy. So maybe it's just this intermediary lord that hasn't been. So you have like the Silent King up here. You
Sure.
have platinum lords that haven't been discovered yet, and then gold lords or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
see.
like, if the platinum came, if the Silent King came back, it would be everyone.
Yeah.
But this intermediary level hasn't been encountered yet. That would like
Yeah.
awaken, like knock out all of Ultramar, let's say, or
Yeah.
knock out like
And-
huge segmentums, not just.
And I guess the thing with the Silent King too is like he wants to return freedom to his people, so he wouldn't necessarily be enacting the platinum protocols anyways on his people.
Yeah,
or trying not to maybe.
yeah.
But I
We'll
got to
save
do an
that for Silent
episode.
King episode.
Yeah, like I know old lore of him. but I don't know what happened to him when he came
Any
out.
new
so.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, let's carry on, I think.
I know I'm looking for my notes when I was fact checking.
Oh no.
Yeah, I
right.
know.
After countless encounters with the Necrons, Imperial savants have come to the chilling realization: as the conflict with these ancient beings escalates, a tomb world will retreat momentarily, withdrawing its current forces from the fray, only to unleash a more devastating army led by an expanded and reinforced nodal command. This grim cycle is a pattern of warfare unlike any other known to the galaxy's inhabitants. So like we were saying earlier, like they get defeated, you're like, oh yeah, we won the day. They're just going to come back with bigger and better forces.
Yeah, you just triggered the next node.
Yeah. The Necron response to opposition is one of the exponential escalation. As the foe grows more desperate in its resistance, so too does the Necron offensive become increasingly lethal.
Okay, wait, hear me out.
Mhm.
We put the Tyranids and the Orcs and the Necron into one area and let them fight.
That's what was missing. Tomb worlds in the Octarian.
Yeah, that's where
sector.
the equation goes wrong.
Fucking Cryptman.
If we only had add that one more variable to the equation, it would have balanced.
Inquisitor Jimicus.
No, I'm the Mister of Battle. You idiot.
Sorry. In the early stages of the engagement, only a sparse contingent of Necron warriors and specialist units, such as the ethereal wraiths or the annihilating destroyers, are deployed. Their purpose is to assess and contain the threat with minimal effort, coldly, efficiently, and utterly detached. But as the enemy presses harder, the Tomb World's automatic systems awaken more powerful forces, feeding them into the nodal command for the Necron Lord's use. What began as a trickle of death soon becomes an overwhelming tide, while each escalation the Necrons respond with a force more catastrophic than the last, growing in lethality and number until their destructive power eclipses anything mankind has ever encountered, from the voracious Tyranids to the infernal legions of chaos.
That kind of does track with the Indominus book. There's a squad of Space Marines on this planet kind of attacking this elevator thing.
Yeah.
And that is kind of how they're attacking. It's like, I don't need to send an entire thing. I'll just send some destroyers down there, kind of deal with it. I don't like, they don't think there's an arrogance to them. So they're like, why would I send a whole army to deal with humans? Send some destroyers. I don't even like them anyway. They're kind of broken. So just send those down.
Yeah. And the other thing too with that is like, this escalation and this nodal system is beyond a single planet, right? So like you could win, you could destroy a Tomb World, you could win that battle, but to the Necron, that's just one.
You just triggered a fringe world,
right? Exactly.
That now triggers the core world.
Like you're just offsetting a new chain of events, right? So even your victories aren't really total victories, right? And in essence, eventually all these battles will culminate, and all of them waking up eventually would be like
right.
The way it would work.
That's just
hindsight of this is like, let's see it all now. It all makes sense. Yeah. I just like it. It's a cool image of the different waves. Like just imagine being some type of soldier going through this war, and at first you're just getting swarmed by scarabs, and then like you see other types of weird mechanical creatures, and then you see your first like, holy, that's a human skeleton robot thing. Like
like in the distance, like marching.
Yeah, like just imagine that after fighting all these other robot horrors and almost
Yeah, and then they start sending the tripod destroyers at you.
Yeah, exactly. Like just wave after wave gets.
So it's
horde mode.
It almost gets human for a second because it sends the warriors, but then it starts to get bizarre and mechanical again with like tripoders or whatever. Yeah.
When the conflict reaches its apex, entire phalanxes of Necron warriors march forward in seemingly endless ranks, transported to battle by newly awakened monoliths, each a mobile fortress of death. Hundreds of immortals and destroyers follow in their wake, relentless and unstoppable. Waves of horrific flayed ones and wraiths tear through civilian populations, sowing terror and despair deep behind enemy lines, shattering morale long before the final blow is struck. The sky blackens with the arrival of Necron armadas, and every battlefield is soon reduced to an unholy display of the Necron's remorseless efficiency. Yeah, again, like there could be like, if you're in Necron territory, it's not just a singular planet by itself. You have like other moons and other planets in the system, and then even bigger regions of the galaxy that could all wake up, and you trigger those guys. So again, you win on your planet, then reinforcements come from outside your planet.
Well, I love the idea of like, let's say you have your colony on some planet, and you just think there's this natural phenomenon of this green beam that travels from your planet to the moon. Like, wow, that's so beautiful. And like,
we should worship
for
it.
thousands of years, you've like lived on this planet and seen this beautiful natural green
glow.
beam that comes back and forth.
When has that ever been a good thing?
And then the Tomb World wakes up, and it's on both planets. It's on the moon and the planet. And
I've seen the Aurora Borealis and that.
Oh.
God damn it. We got Rainbow Necron on
Even
All the
dude,
colors.
actually, have you seen? Is it bismuth? That's like that rainbow colored metal.
Sure.
That'd be a sweet actual color scheme for
okay.
a Necron army.
There's like cool color shifting paints that you can get.
Yeah.
Now. That would be cool too.
Yeah.
where it's like,
Man, I might start a Necron army after this.
Might as well.
I can't afford this.
hey, after all the generous donations of our Patreon,
Help me
people
make
that
my rainbow Necron.
are- yeah, or feed his children. Maybe that money-
Let's be
I'm
honest.
taking their food money and I'm putting it towards Necron. Minus a Morgul. I was gonna make a joke about green beams. Whatever. We're moving on. Sauron is a Necron. All right. Imperial savants speculate with mounting dread that what has been seen so far but a fraction of the Necron's true power. They believe that many tomb worlds still harbor units of even greater destructive potential, machines and warriors of unimaginable ferocity, held in reserve for the day when combat escalates to a level of yet unseen. It is the thought that gnaws in the minds of those who study the Necrons. What will be unleashed when the limits of escalation are breached? What abominations lie dormant, waiting for the unknown threshold to be crossed? So that's another thing too we got to keep in perspective is we know as readers and like fans more than what the Imperium knows about the Necron, right?
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of mystery around the Necron. They don't know, and even to the readers or to us, there's stuff that like GW I'm sure will release in the future, like, oh, this is a new tech that they've, because it's not going to be new. What it is, it's going to be something old that's been awakened, right?
Yeah.
And
Which
we've
is
reached
cool.
that threshold. Yeah, it leaves room for that to retroactively insert things.
Yeah, the
In the
platinum
future.
level lords, if they ever come out, like platinum level,
That could be like
troops as well.
your anti-Primarch level, right?
Sure.
Like a counter.
Well, okay. The only weird thing about this though is if the Silent King is back, why would there be anything?
James, let me live in my fantasy.
Why would there be anything left to release, like to unleash?
The
At that
Silent
point?
King is a little bit weird, and I think we should
Yeah.
save that discussion.
Yeah.
He's not quite like your typical Necron,
Mhm.
and he might be.
He has a
going
very
even
different
against the
cause
Necron.
and purpose than the rest of
Yeah,
everyone else in his species.
think of him
Like,
as something other than like the penultimate. well,
He's not the emperor of the
ultimate
No.
Necron.
No,
Yes,
no.
I know that, but like,
but he is kind of, but also not. Trying not to be. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
This whole thing. We'll get to it.
We'll save it for James.
All right,
I'm
all
gonna
right.
write to James complaints.
Thanks, guys.
Dead worlds discovered near active tomb worlds, stripped of all life and reduced to barren wastelands, stand as ominous monuments to the inevitable fate of those who dare to oppose the undying Necrons. These planets, once vibrant and full of life, now serve as grim reminders of the Necrons' ultimate purpose: total annihilation. A silent and empty galaxy where only their cold, metallic forms endure, unchallenged and eternal.
but isn't the Silent King's purpose to not do that?
That's the point, James.
I'm roasting you.
James, complaints.
Doesn't leave me alone about the Silent King.
Who is this
Silent
hacker known
King.
as Silent King?
He is almost the 4chan of 4chan of 40k. We need that.
No, we don't.
Don't make them angry.
All right, let's talk about the nodal command stages. So, primary awakeners. The initial stirrings of Tomb World begin with the activation of Tomb Spiders, the robotic custodians charged with the overseeing of Necron's resurrection. With the external environment is deemed ripe for their awakening, the ancient constructs set to work, performing the fundamental tasks of opening the stasis tombs and conducting essential maintenance, possessing the enigmatic power to revive their slumbering kin. The Tomb Spiders initiate the activation of the first wave of reconnaissance forces known as Raiders. Simultaneously, the second group of primary awakeners, vast swarms of scarab constructs, secure the tomb's interior. Numbering in the thousands, these tireless machines scour every corner of the tomb, hunting intruders, ensuring the defenses are restored to full capacity. So yeah, just like basically, you know how when you wake up in the morning, you got to make some toast, turn on the lights, get your slippers on.
Yeah.
That's what that is. They're just getting everything like
First
stirring
one
up.
up, turn on the lights, get everything ready.
Yeah, that's right.
For the day.
Then we have the Raider Force. Once awakened, a small number of Necron warriors and scarabs emerge as Raider forces, tasked with venturing out into the outer world and nearby star systems. Operating with autonomous with autonomy, these scouts gather vital intelligence on the presence and strength of the galaxy's other races. The destruction of a raider force can provoke one of two responses from the Tomb World. It may dispatch another raider contingent to investigate, or may escalate immediately, proceeding to the second stage of activation if the threat proves significant.
Cool.
So that would be driving to work. No, I think I've butchered that metaphor too.
No, I think it's like a fast food restaurant, and these are the Uber Eats drivers. If somebody doesn't finish their order, you either send another Uber Eats driver
or you send an army to burn down their house.
Yeah, because there's like, no, we don't need to get what's in that neighborhood. Who's taking the Uber Eats driver? Hard to say.
All right, so Reserve Command. Upon receiving the Raiders' gathered intelligence, the Tomb World subsumes the command of all Raider forces under the nodal command of a silver-level Necron Lord. This Lord takes charge of operations, leading the Reserve Command into battle if necessary. This command structure ensures that the Reserve Necron Lord is always ready to assume control of any forces in the event that a higher-ranking Lord is destroyed or incapacitated. Then we have Necron line formations. The bulk of the Necron army falls under the control of line formations. An extension of the nodal command, these formations, overseen by up to 4 bronze-level Necron lords, consist of a variety of Necron fighting units. At the heart of each formation is a phalanx of Necron warriors, transported to battle by the monoliths, supporting by devastating firepower units like destroyers and immortals. These phalanxes are often bolstered by specialized cohorts, bringing even more deadly precision to the battle. The Necron Lords of the Line formation serve as a battlefield network, transmitting data between themselves, uploading vital information to the Platinum-level Necron Overlord, or calling upon the Reserve Command for reinforcements. Each Tomb World holds dozens of these line formations, deployed as the ebb and flow of combat demands, activated and deactivated by the ever-watchful Tomb Spiders. And then finally, we have, not finally, but near finally, we have the Priority Command. At the pinnacle of the Necron command structure encountered by the Imperium are the gold-level Necron Lords, forming the Priority Command. These 3 lords oversee all strategic operations, wielding the authority to override the decisions of bronze or silver-level lords, which I assume they take great pleasure in doing. Yes. Even if it doesn't help them, they're going to do it, just to be like, you're an idiot, and I don't want you to do that. They also command the most powerful units known to the Necrons, the Pariahs. Towering war machines like Tomb Stalkers, and vast aerial and starship forces. The sheer potency of these units often marks the turning point of any engagement, crushing opposition with cold mechanical precision. And now, finally, we have the Platinum-level Commander. To date, no Platinum-level Necron Overlord has been encountered by the Imperium that we are aware of. Mm-hmm. It might have happened more recently. Their existence remains a chilling hypothesis based on the actions of gold-level lords. Among the few trusted Imperial savants, there is a speculation that a Platinum-level nodal command may still lie dormant on a hidden Tomb World, or perhaps even manifest as the Tomb World itself. The Adeptus Mechanicus maintains confidence that a Platinum-level overload is not a Satan, as the Star Gods do not seem to interact directly with the nodal command system. Yet the possibility of encountering such an overlord looms large, a being whose authority and power could reshape the entire galactic sector.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's just like they're just bosses, and they just have different tiers, and you get to mess with everyone below you. And
what if it's like Unicron, and the Tomb World itself is the next phase?
Yeah,
it's like a giant robot that is the planet.
World like creates arms.
The Awakens, exactly. Yeah.
Like ball.
It'll be ball shaped. You could transform. That's the whole point of Transformers.
Yes. Okay, and he gets multiple planets. Now he's a snowman. Link up.
Voltron.
That's retarded.
That is awful. I don't love that at all.
We've had some good ideas, and we've had some bad ideas. That one, dumpster it.
The role of Satan. In the depths of the galaxy, the Satan, the ancient star gods, slumber restlessly. Their hunger for life energy as insatiable as the void itself. The Necrons, their dutiful servants, stir from their eons-long slumber under the shadow of the cosmic predators. The intricate dance between the Necrons and the Satan is one of dark symbiosis. While the Necrons awaken and reclaim their ancient dominions, the Satan shards, still fragmented and driven by primal hunger, influence the resurrection. These malevolent entities subtly manipulate the awakening process, guiding the Necron's forces to quench their unending thirst for vitality. The galaxy trembles as the Satan influence propels the Necrons into an era of renewed aggression, a harbinger of dread as their primordial god's hunger drives them to reclaim the world that was once lost.
Yeah, just to go back to what I was saying about the board game or the tabletop again, just like when someone puts a void dragon on the table, you're like, oh no, please no.
Yeah. There's this cool kind of line where like either the Satan are like the puppets of the Necron and they're like used as power sources and weapons, or sometimes you get lucky and the Necron are like, or the Satan are in control of the Necron are like running that Forge world. Older lore, it was always that way, but newer lore, sometimes you still get that with a Satan or in control. So what kind of happens when you have one of these Satan in control of the Tomb World and not like necessarily a lord or like?
How would that work? Like if the Satan are enslaved or sharded,
one could like break
just
free
worming his way back in, kind of thing.
Yeah, and like if you have one shard who has collected 10 other shards, and now he's a pretty powerful shard of a Satan that's powerful in and of itself. Yeah, maybe he makes deals with the Lord already, or
who knows?
There's so much politics. Like you could find
Politics,
anyone
who knows it.
Yeah, exactly.
Who can be it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Awkward. As the Necron legions rise, their internal mechanics are not merely a cold, efficient operation, but a calculated response to the shifting balance of power within the galaxy. The Necrons, once raised to pure logic, find their awakening profoundly affected by the presence of the dark deities. Charged of the Satan, still active and hungry, can transform the Necrons' methodical return into a more frenzied and chaotic force, driven by their creators' inscrutable desires. The presence of the Satan Shard in a Tomb World's awakening can alter the strategic patterns of the Necrons, infusing their tactics with a dangerous, unpredictable edge that mirrors the primal chaos of their gods.
I just want to say, James, your theory of the Emperor being the devil is wrong. It's clearly the Satan.
There can
It's in the name.
There can be more than one devil. Okay?
That's heresy in and of itself.
No. I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
James complains at gmail.com.
The implications for the galaxy are dire and profound. The awakened Necrons, guided by the sinister will of their star gods, unleash a campaign of terror and destruction. Their actions a testament to the insidious influence of the Satan. As Tomb Worlds awaken under this dark influence, their forces do not merely rise from the catacombs, they surge with an intensity that eclipses the calculated, cold precision of their usual operations. Each skirmish, each clash becomes a battle not only against the Necrons, but against the looming specter of the Satan's insidious hunger, a grim reminder of the vast, dark forces that manipulate and command from beyond the veil of time.
Cool. Yeah, I like the image of just like these nodes flickering to life, and the different pathways between like yes and kind of pathways of did this force make it? Yes. Okay, we don't need another one. No, they didn't send another one. All these different nodes kind of light up in this room.
What percentage of the force exists still?
Yeah.
There's all these like infinite calculations.
And all the nodal stuff. It's very cool. Yeah, it just allows for like that kind of command and control and different levels of intrigue and politics and all that kind of cool stuff.
Little circuits on a circuit board or little brain cells in a brain.
And then the Satan, they kind of add that unique thing. Like the Satan, they still want to eat and consume souls and stuff. So you might get the odd ones that are still, in control and awakening Tomb Worlds to fulfill that.
And they could be like rogue actors too that are kind of messing with things, right?
And that's
cool. It adds an element of chaos, or it's not like things aren't going strictly to plan. This Tomb World got blown up by an asteroid. This Catan is kind of going insane over here and messing with things. So we have to have like plans on plans to deal with that mess and backup systems and I don't know, computer code talk.
James.
Yep.
0-1-1-1-0s.
Yes. Yep.
All
true.
The perils of awakening. In the endless abyss of the galaxy, there are Tomb Worlds where the dark ritual of reawakening falters, casting a shadow of dread and chaos upon the sterile perfection of the Necron engineering. These worlds, cursed by the failures in their ancient protocols, become
places of silent despair and fractured ambition. The grand machinery of resurrection, designed to stir the Necrons from the eternal slumber, grinds to the halt in these forsaken realms, leaving an eerie stillness where once there was an unyielding precision. Within the labyrinth depths of the malfunctioning tombs, the Necron lords lie inert, their grand schemes frozen in time, while the lesser constructs and rogue AI remnants run amok, driven by malfunctioning directives and fragmented memories of their ancient tasks.
Yeah, again, it's like it just adds that level of chaos and unpredictability. This is how the plan was supposed to go. Everyone's supposed to wake up nice and orderly, and there's a couple of spots where things are not going as intended.
Everyone updated their server except for this one guy, and that messed it all up.
Leaving his computer on at night. I told him to shut down before the update.
Stop opening emails with weird links.
As the Imperium tried just plugging in a laptop and hitting Control-Alt-Delete.
You just have to. Oh, I found this USB. Plug it into the Necron.
Okay, kind of an aside, but just Independence Day, man. Literally, they use a human computer to hack into an alien computer, into an alien ship.
And then they give it
It's like,
virus.
yeah, exactly. It's like that maybe worked in the 1990s, but people know computers now.
Hey, I'll have you know, I was told that the USB is
Universal.
universal.
Just jack into the back of a Necron's head and just override.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, you just have to type fast enough and it works.
Can you imagine the Mechanicus just like figuring that out? Just like click, like what? Just happened?
We've sent billions of guardsmen
To their death.
All we needed was Jeff Goldblum.
The collapse of the Tomb World's reawakening is not mere malfunction, but a catastrophic ripple across the Necron hierarchy. These failed worlds become breeding grounds for discord and interscene strife among the dormant and what the fuck is that word?
Partially?
What?
Partially?
No, I already read it. Never mind.
Internecine?
Yeah, what do you know? What
It's
that
like,
means?
yeah, like internal.
It's just like
internal
Ah,
conflict.
and partially activated units. The Tomb Spiders, once keepers of rebirth, are reduced to malfunctioning husks. Their repair protocols corrupted and their stasis units misaligned. These malfunction breeds of grotesque melange. Melange. Sorry, I forgot that E above the apostrophe above the E. The melange of misfit constructs and rebellious automatons.
Even though you said it right, what's wrong? Automaton. Automatons.
Listen,
Automatons.
listen,
I kind of like automatons.
I'm
It's
a
nice ratio.
professional. I've been told people want to hear me read for some reason. Creating a battlefield of confusion where the orders are disregarded and ancient protocols are twisted into new forms of terror. Such worlds are often becoming haunting echoes of what might have been, a grim reminder of the colossal power held in reserve in the abysmal consequences of his flawed awakening. Yeah, I just think about that like, if any electricians are out there, you got series and parallel. If you bump one little light out in the series, all the ones following it then messes up too. So you mess up this one Tomb World, and all the Tomb Worlds in the series of those node controls get now messed up too.
Look at this guy talking tech speak.
Well, I also like, since we talked about how like the Tyranids have become that kind of mindless, just destructive force, and since the Necron are no longer that thing, the idea that they have to have vulnerabilities and weaknesses and drawbacks is very important to making them feel more than just mindless zombies. And since they've done that, I think quite well with this whole idea that like, yeah, their tech is super powerful. They're really amazing, but also it's just kind of falling apart because it's so old.
Yeah.
And they're not really like able to handle that. It's just time. Like, even though they are
theory, as Jeff Goldblum,
Jeff Goldblum coming back
from his Jurassic Park scientist.
I even think that like, it's gone. Carry on.
Yeah. I just think that that's very necessary to giving the Necron their depth. Is like, number one, their biggest weakness is internal politicking. Each one of them is going to stab each other in the back for some slight that they probably don't remember.
Yeah,
that's part of it. And then the other part is just like, they're so old, they might just line up this beam that can literally like annihilate a whole planet, and it just it's broken. And it's just so old they like can't, it's just not going to work. I think that's an awesome part of their lore too that gives them more depth.
There's a couple cool ways that they've done it. Like, another way to kind of keep Necron lower tier, or like not just all powerful as the
Yeah,
classic.
just-
Not everything is woken up yet, but like it's cool to have some more ways of limiting them than just we haven't seen what they have in store. Yes, they have unlimited power. We just haven't seen it yet, so we're fine. So yeah, a couple cool limiters. I always think that when I'm writing lore, it's like, okay, what are some cool things? And like for every 2 cool things I write, I better have one downside or one thing that's like cool but not beneficial.
Yeah.
You know,
It prevents you from just having like a perfect
a Mary Sue.
Mary Sue, some might say.
Mhm.
Yes,
Or a
that's
Gary
right.
Stew,
Yes.
if you're indifferent to gender. The ramifications extend far beyond the desolate surfaces. For the Imperium and other galactic denizens, these failed tomb worlds stand as ominous warnings, veiled in the chilling silence of what might yet come. The unsettling quiet of a world marred by failed reactivation becomes a breeding ground for fear and suspicion. As the galaxy remains oblivious to the full scope of the Necron's potential wrath, the shadow of these dormant worlds loom large, their broken technology and scattered forces serving a dark omen of the horrors that could be unleashed should the Necron's grand awakening ever be complete. Yeah, okay, comment section, that's fun.
We gotta start selling this antivirus software.
Yeah, we have the Ordo antivirus that you can get for $12.99 USD. It's, to be clear, a month.
More expensive than the Patreon subscription.
It's true, yeah, but this will keep you safe from Necron infestation on your laptop.
We can say that
That is
guaranteed.
guaranteed, yes.
You will never have a problem with the
I
Necron.
promise you.
The only thing that comes on the disc is a picture mark.
I got you. You're safe.
Where's our merch guy? We need it. All right. Awaken Necron technology. In the cold, unfeeling depths of the awakening tomb world, the slumbering Necrons guard secrets of arcane technology that defy this comprehension of even the most learned of Imperial scholars. As their dormant catacombs stir to life, ancient war machines and artifacts emerge from the abyss of time, their purpose and design forged in the crucible of a forgotten era. Monolithic constructs whose sheer scale and power dwarf even the most advanced of contemporary weaponry rise from their resting places, their surfaces etched with inscrutable glyphs that glow with a malevolent light. These behemoths, driven by the dark energies of the void and the enigmatic power of the Catan, are designed to lay waste to entire star systems with an efficiency that borders on the horrific. Amidst these colossal war machines, the more insidious wonders of Necron technology are unearthed from the shadows of their tombs. Devices that manipulate the very fabric of reality, wielding temporal fields that can suspend entire battalions in stasis or rend the fabric of space itself. Such artifacts enshrined within the labyrinthine depths of Necron tombs are beyond the reach of modern science. When uncovered, they present not just a threat, but a tantalizing glimpse into a power so ancient and destructive that it threatens to overshadow any technological marvel possessed by the galaxy's more youthful races. The implications of such technology falling into the hands of human or Xenos factions are catastrophic, as their alien relics possess the potential to rewrite the balance of power across the stars. Interesting thought that just came to mind is even how like the Ordo Xenos Death Watch use like a Necron phase sword, for example.
Sure.
Right? Like even something as simple as like a basic sword for the Necron is like super advanced. We're going to use this against them.
Yeah.
Right? So so much room for like whatever technological marvel you could think of.
I like to think too of like how to use it creatively. It's like, yeah, they could just deatomize an entire planet, or they could create a weapon that like sucks all the water from the air, and then in return it, you know, you come up with some creative, clever technology that isn't just like
blow things up.
Exactly.
And also, even it doesn't have to be weapons. Like again, it could be shielding tech, it could be teleportation, transportation, like any field
that
of
great
technology.
landscaper at the beginning of the episode, he needs some good gear too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
mountain
he's-
leveler,
he's
not for
just-
destructive purposes, but
He's
just
building
application.
mountains so that they like spell out a word or his name.
F you.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, and there's creative technology too, like you were saying,
Yeah.
like maybe stuff that builds things that like really fast or like is really resource efficient, or an energy source that can power all your tech without the need of like some less efficient reactor, right?
Yeah, I guess probably any energy sources would be crazy. You find like a Necron battery. It's like,
Wow,
yeah,
this
it's like
thing
a
is
AA and it can power a planet.
yeah, for like a million years.
yeah, exactly.
That's what the tomb worlds are. Also sponsored by Energy. We need to get those corporate sponsorships.
Those
Yeah,
corpos call me.
Hello, we're family friendly. I'm doing that hammer.
Okay.
Before we get to this next little bit, if you guys, we're getting to the end of our notes here for this episode. If you guys want to call in, we got time for some of those. So I noticed one person, Nathan is gonna jump on here, so I'm gonna get him. But yeah, carry on.
Cool.
Reach out in the chat if you want to get on, and I'll send you a link.
What draws a tomb world to awaken? In the cold, relentless expanse of the galaxy, it's always cold in the galaxy. I don't know if you noticed that. The reawakening of a Necron tomb world is no arbitrary event. It is a cataclysmic answer to a cosmic riddle. Ooh, that's spicy. The slumbering
The riddle of
tomb
steel.
worlds buried deep beneath the aeons of rock and forgotten history lie dormant until the universe itself awakens them from their dark slumber. Galactic phenomena such as the Great Rift with its sprawling fissures in the fabric of reality, or the surges of warp energy that ripple through the cosmos, can stir these ancient machines from their hibernation. As the universe undergoes its tumultuous transformations, these disturbances are felt even in the deep subterranean sanctums of the Necron tomb worlds, setting in motion the inexorable rise of the sleeping legions. I wonder, do you think there's ever been like other like major rifts in space caused by the warp in the 60 million years between the Necrons going to sleep and now? Or have it just been, this is the first time and it's just, oh my god, there's rifts everywhere now?
I don't totally track what your question was.
So
Like you have the eye
of warp rifts is, yeah, I'd say
since the Eye of Terror, like between the Eye
There's
of
also
Terror,
the Maelstrom. Like I think there's minor.
yeah, the Cicatrix.
Yeah,
Maledictrum
there's
too,
lots of
that's
them.
been
They're
ripped.
everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
but I mean, like before the Eye of Terror,
yeah.
was there any in between the Necrons going to sleep and that?
I wouldn't say there weren't any, but I'd say it's very reduced because we had the whole thing with Old Night and stuff where this
Yeah.
became a
But-
problem.
We know that they have tech that can block, like push back
The
warp
warp.
storms.
Yeah.
So they must have had a reason to do it before.
Well, that's because they were fighting like psychic beings, and the warp wasn't as chaotic back then either.
Throughout the 60 million years, it's never been more chaotic.
That's what I'm saying.
everything,
It's never. Yes, I think
Yeah.
definitively you could say it's been
Sure.
less chaotic than it is now.
Yeah.
but never high in chaotic.
Are you high?
Are you snipping warped up stuff over there?
No.
I
The
think I
warp-
get.
Go
Sorry.
on. Say it.
I think
warp
I get
is an
your
ocean.
question, but it is. And it's
very.
wet.
It was calm before when the Necron and Elder were
Okay.
fighting,
All right, fair
but they were still using Elder were still using warp technology. They're like psychic technology
Sure.
based on the warp, so it's still beneficial for the Necron to create a counter to, and the old ones too, right?
Sure.
To create a counter
Okay.
to that.
fair enough.
Right. And I would imagine there have been like warp tears and stuff randomly. Maybe the galaxy's a big place, but it didn't really become a huge problem until Old Night
Okay,
and the rise of Psychers and humanity and all
Sure.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
and like I think too, there's two very different warp rifts that have been created now. There's like fluctuating storms, and then there's ones that have lasted for thousands of years now.
Yeah,
Like
like
there's
the Eye
a
of Terror.
10,000 years warp storm of the Eye of Terror, which is very different than maybe just your local neighborhood warp rift
That's
caused by a couple kids who summoned a demon,
playing with a demon. Yeah,
Cool.
right. And it only affects your planet or like
Yeah.
your region. That's a small scale, and it flashes and it's gone.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it flares up and it goes, and then
okay.
Like even
Fair
like
enough.
10,000 years technically in the Necron's mindset. That's a
that's
flash.
nothing.
That's
Yeah.
a blip as well.
Sure.
So like,
On that note, no one ever talks about the Maelstrom anymore. You notice?
yeah, like
Right?
well, it kind of got consumed though. Like it's
Is it
like,
in the path of the Cicatrix?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like that's how it ripped.
Sure.
We could pull up. the
Yeah,
map.
like it went right through it.
The Maelstrom.
Yeah.
I thought the Maelstrom was like more to the edge of the galaxy. Totally off topic. We can
Anyway,
discuss
I'll
that
just, while he's looking that up, the triggers of such awakenings are as enigmatic as they are varied. A flare of cosmic energy, the collision of celestial bodies, or the subtle perturbations of the warp. That's a word.
I love perturbating. I also like slamming my celestial bodies together.
These all might act as a catalyst, including Christian's body being slammed
My
together.
celestial body.
They all might be catalysts for the Tomb World's reactivation. These events, seemingly insignificant in the grand scheme of the galaxy, are perceived by the Necron systems as signals of a shift in cosmic equilibrium, urging them to reassert their dominion. As the Tomb World's mechanisms stir to life, the ancient preordained algorithms begin their cold calculations. And the world begins to unravel its secrets once more, What emerges from the depths is not merely a waking world, but a relentless, methodical force ready to reclaim its place among the stars, an unstoppable tide of metal and death, reshaping the cosmos in its image. Yeah, so that's
Really, the Necron are just making a giant sculpture of the galaxy.
That's so pretty.
it's the Silent King's doing his lawn, which is the whole galaxy.
That's nice. Okay, it's a big
Well,
job.
We're all just, I was gonna say grains of grass. Strand of grass? What do you call a singular grass? What is
Blade.
a blade?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
We're all blades of grass in the lawn of the Necron dynasties, waiting to be
cut.
trimmed.
Excellent. That's
Cool. Closing thoughts. Let's hit them.
I hope our Earth is a tomb world.
I
Wait,
really
are
need
you
everything
Eric?
to end.
Rip off's my man. This whole time. Mark's been dead this whole time.
I've been
eliminate
wearing
him.
his face.
I don't like it. That was my closing thought. It's very cool. Like I like knowing all this kind of stuff and just like, yeah, what actually happens when like you start digging in and you open up that first vault door and like that still air that has been stirred for centuries. You smell it. Ooh, stanky. And then you get swarmed by scarabs and devoured. You know, instantly. But yeah, the nodal command and all that is very cool for even just operating like, you know, doing your army. You can paint people bronze, gold, platinum, not necessarily, but you know, you can add that level of detail into your minis and stuff. So I really like that kind of behind the scene organization of it all.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, Necron is probably lowest tier for me for interest, but this might kindle a deep passion in me somewhere, very deep.
And I like your kind of elemental thing. Let's see if we can fully get you.
That'd be committing to multiple armies though, because you'd have to have like an ice one, and a fire one, and a forest one,
Yeah, exactly.
ocean one. Oh man, I'm already thinking about how much that's going to cost.
It's
Well, you can
happening.
even just do one squad of warriors in each.
Oh yes, on top of everything else that I haven't done yet. Love it.
So you just
If someone else wants to do the work of that, please
done them again.
take my idea.
Hello? Did you unplug me?
No, I unplugged the other one for sure.
Okay, good. All right, let's jump into some gestualizations here.
Yeah. Up first, we got Ark. I'm gonna add you in here. Hey, hello, welcome.
G'day, fellas. How are we?
Doing
Oh, we're good.
very good.
Having fun?
Oh, I'm always having fun.
Always having fun? Could be
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. What do you think of Necron Tomb Worlds and the Awakening?
I like him, eh?
Is there anything particular about them that you like?
Mostly once they awaken, shit's gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always, it's always an adventure when they open up. They're like it's a good story. Like you could have this you could build a whole story around just like this new world gets this whole culture is there, and then all of a sudden the Necrons start waking up and it's all like burning down.
Oh, they could make so many different stories. Like, it's just so much you could do with them, eh?
Do you have Necron?
Oh, I've got a couple of models here and there. I painted an Overlord the other week.
Cool. My first question is always, what color is your energy?
Yeah, green.
What's your aura?
What's your aura?
Green. Okay, green aura. Okay, so envious. Good.
He's a man of classic. He's a man of taste. he's an
Something like that.
original.
But I've got an idea for like a gemstone style. So instead of like metallics, you go like an organic gemstone.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah, like crystally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crystals and auras. That's what you're about, man. I can tell.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Crystal Man?
Something like that, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how long have you been in the hobby? Do you know like some of the differences between old Necron, new Necron?
A little bit, yeah. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Just a bit. Do you like the whole Egypt vibe? Do you hope they keep going with that? I don't know.
I kind of do, yeah.
Okay, nice.
I really do like the Egypt style vibe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better the more Egyptian leaning into that because it gives them a little more character. The whole Terminator vibe is just very. There's not a lot
there's enough things wanting to kill you just for the sake of killing you in 40K. You know, we got that.
It gives them more personality
Yeah.
when they're like when you have that more like I'm entombing myself forever so I can be immortal vibe. I think it's just better than than the just kill the Terminator. Like they still have that relentless, they're coming forever, but the vibe of them being more, I don't know, this chasing immortality vibe, I think it just works for them better.
Yeah, it's more depth
definitely.
of the personality of it.
Yeah.
Versus just like marching forward and like mindlessly killing.
Yeah.
It's like
Mm.
everything in Warhammer does that, right? But just having some more
That's
depth
just the
and
baseline.
interest to it, like that definitely goes.
Sounds like Australia.
Correct.
Like, I think my toilet tried to kill me this morning. So
Yeah, those things spin the wrong way and all.
Fuck you into the warp.
it's
Oh,
Necron
that's where they
technology,
go
damn it.
down there.
Any other thoughts here before we get the next person on?
No, just love
Just
it.
chilling? Yeah, nice. We were talking before the show there, so I'm glad to see you made it in and joined us and stayed the whole time. Now that's listener
commitment.
retention, I've been told, and that's how we get those ads from Goodyear.
I've been listening to Lorehammer for quite a few years now. So, and
dude.
quite a few times actually.
I
I think I'm on my sixth listen of the
Six
entire.
listen. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Well, you're feeding our families.
damn straight. I'm the godfather for all your children now.
So sweet. And now I can hit you with like a purple lore tag in the Discord, the lore guest, the sweet envied lore tag, and you can flaunt
yes.
that on bitches.
Damn straight. Do it.
Do it. Cool.
All right, thanks, dude.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
All good. Have a good one, fellas.
See ya.
Get him off my podcast. Now that he's here. Fuck that guy. And we also have Callus coming up next. I'll give him a second. I'm going to add you to the stage.
Yeah, you always want to be careful. You never know.
Yeah, it looks like we're good to go.
You got to be
here.
ready to go.
All right, my man, Callus, how's it going?
He just wants to look at you.
Yeah, just
He
hidden.
Just blowing smoke.
Hello, test. Callus, Typhon.
just wants to stare at you.
Yeah.
I kind of like this vibe. I mean, it's
Very
horrible for all the listeners, but whoever's
the
watching
fun
this
thing
is
about
enjoying it.
live streams.
It's-
for sure. That's it. I'm getting fallen back in here. Remove that guy. Falling you back. Welcome. Fuck that guy.
What's up?
You got anything else for us? Since that guy's just wanted to look at us.
I like
Well,
looking
who
at
doesn't
him,
like to
so-
look at you? Let's be honest.
Oh,
But no, been working on chaos lately.
cool. What kind of chaos?
I just
Why can't I
finished,
hear?
almost finished my case for my, the base for my Abaddon.
Okay. Oh yeah, you were showing me pictures of that. That's very cool.
I sent you a photo, yeah.
Yeah, man. Some of the bases are pretty cool. How, they're either standing on guys or like that one. I love the Aquila broken off and kind of spurting up and around. Like, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I love that stuff, hey.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of just blank bases.
Do you always try to match them then? Like, are you gonna try to keep the base consistency?
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. Like my orcs are gonna have a snowy theme to them. My blood angels are gonna have like a dry crack base from Baal sort of look.
Yeah.
And I haven't really decided too much, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna go with like a red Martian sort of theme for my chaos. Lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
Yeah, dude, chaos are fun to paint because you just get to be a little more wild with them, right?
A little messy
yeah,
with them or whatever.
Exactly. Like same with orcs. Like you just put a whole heap of glue on something, stand across the room, and just start throwing stuff at them.
Very nice. Cool. Well, that other guy's not coming, so I think we're gonna finish up our episode notes. Thanks, Arch, for
No worries.
you saved the day with your Australian.
Glad to
valor.
help.
We'll get you next time, Callus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be having some tech issues. You're like freezing up or can't hear us.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, the final things of the show. We got a sweet old James complaint we can share with you.
That I always love a good complaint,
Mhm.
and it's my favorite bit of the episode where someone comes to insult me, but then ends up insulting Christian.
That's not the point, guys. You're missing the point.
No,
That
they're
is definitely the
nailing
complaint.
it. They understood the assignment.
Perfectly. All right. Here, let me just go through this complaint here. You too can be featured in James Complaints if you write something mostly rude, but generally clean. So make sure it's over 500 characters. 200 characters, enough so it's fun for me to read.
Enough, yeah.
All right. From Tony. I'd like to start off by saying that I'm a huge fan of the show. Well, shows you have poor taste. And that I've fully listened through it 3 times now and have no life. Okay.
And Arch has listened to it more than you do, so fuck
Yes,
you.
sucker.
6 times. Get your numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
And I'm super happy that you guys decided to make more episodes now. I would like to say that Christian can go Kentucky Fried Fuck himself. And I was also wondering if the Emperor would sneak off to be the farmer. Do you think Malkador would sneak off to be with the farmer's wife?
No, it would be the farmer.
Oh, what a question. Yes, I love it. Yes,
The answer is yes. I don't know.
Yes. And like, I even take it a step further. Did Malkador really get turned to dust on the throne?
Or did he just use it as an excuse to cover?
Exactly. Now he's the farmer's wife. Sweet
The perfect
Malkador.
setup.
Yeah, so that's
Cool.
a fun
Thanks,
one.
Tony. Always appreciate someone sending in the
Yes.
James
How do you
complaint.
Kentucky Fried?
Oh,
Man,
I'll show
so
you
you gotta go. It starts with
I'm gonna
KFC
Google it.
drumsticks.
Cover yourself in batter.
Very nice. So what else do we gotta say? End notes. Okay. Hey, if you like Lorehammer listener lore, that's still a thing. I've been reading stuff out every now and again. Submit stuff to lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com. Almost 200 stories out there. It's been a lot of fun. I think all of you guys have been on that show, so that's neat. That says something about our friendship levels. Agree, you are friends, right?
I told you it was magic.
Okay. Yes, it is. Friendship is magic. Star Lords. Go check out that if you like Christian and Jordan.
Yeah, if you like me, if you don't want me to fry myself Kentucky style, come check it out. If you like everything Star Wars.
Everything Star Wars?
Well, not everything, not Disney Star Wars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything other than Disney Star Wars.
Notification.
Come check us out.
Those guys.
You can check out Josh. I think you can just go to his window and
Just look at see what he's up to.
he doesn't mind that kind of approach.
Sometimes we're closed at home.
Yeah, it's encouraged.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. I've been there many a time. I'll probably see you there. Show starts at 9:30.
That's what the good part is.
Cool. I just want to list off our new Patreon members. Always appreciate everyone who chips in, helps us make more episodes.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, Carter, Astro Dude, Deca Lush. I like that one. Lyok, Chris, Jared, Anthony, Ricky, and Patrick. Appreciate you guys contributing to the show and just being a part of it.
Yeah, and like, if you're one of those people that have listened to the show multiple times, or even you're listening all this time, or even you're one of those guys that's like, I listen to 8 hours of Lorehammer a day. Throw us $5, man. Seriously, I think it's time if you haven't already. These boys deserve a paycheck, and their children deserve food in their mouth. So
Mark's literally taking it from them.
and here's the thing, like
Not
I
giving
want
you
to
any food in
I want to be able
return.
to do more Lorehammer, but we all have families, so that means we need to make monetary time for such things. So like I said, man, we're number 1 in the category of hobby in the world.
in the US,
I mean, sorry.
Which
The
is
US is the world.
Which
Well,
is
yeah.
honestly, it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to like say just like thanks to everyone who's listening.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a huge milestone. I think that's the first time we've hit number 1 in the US on the charts
Yeah, since
for
the
that.
reboot for sure.
So that's
Yeah.
super cool, and it's awesome that you guys are all enjoying it and listening so much. So
Help keep us up there.
Yeah.
Help us surpass Joe Rogan. That's the next benchmark.
Yes. And if we don't, Josh will take care of them. Just like he takes care of all my problems.
Yeah, stay in my closet, man. A lot of weird stuff in there.
Ricky says we'll leave it on this because I think Lorehammer honestly is all about just community and the friends we make along the way. Really glad you guys are back. Ricky says discovered you during COVID and was bummed out when it's over. But yeah, man, we're back. We're happy to be doing content. Subscribe to the Patreon.
As long as we're friends, it's never over.
If you're listening, the final thing I'll say is we're about to do a Dad Hammer episode after this. So if you want to catch a little short story before we release the whole series, you can come join us. You can find us in the Discord. Cool. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks, boys, for joining us. What's the next episode? Do we want to lean into like Vashtar or do we want to lean into Votan? Either way, we're doing V's.
V's.
oh, let's do Vashtor.
Okay.
I was gonna say Botan.
Oh, Josh?
Tiebreaker.
No, he's not voting. He's just going to kill one. I don't care which one he kills.
But because he's a bigger challenge.
Okay, yeah.
Do it.
I feel like he'd give the best hugs.
Oh, so you just like to Greco-Roman wrestle? People, right? You signed up for.
We'll cover ourselves in bad air. We'll
Oh.
Kentucky Fried ourselves.
That's why I showed up, man.
Let's do Vosh.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, let's do Votan. Votan.
interesting. Okay, yeah, let's dive into
We're
that
going
and see
vote
where
on
it takes
the
us.
Discord.
That would be cool too. Yeah,
Vote for Votan.
vote for Votan. All right, everyone. Adios.